Ready?
Yeah.
All right. This is a Bible story about Elijah. There was once a good man, a prophet of God named Elijah. God sent a famine into the land where Elijah lived, so that he had nothing to eat. But God loved him and took care of him, and told him of a brook, a river, at some distance where he might go to quench his thirst, and said he would send some ravens, blackbirds, to feed him. Little Daniel: what are ravens, Daddy? Well, large blackbirds, a little like the rooks which you sometimes see in the elm trees, only larger. Little Daniel: and did they feed him, Daddy? Yes, they brought him some bread and meat for his breakfast every morning, and some bread and meat for his supper every night, and he drank of the water of the brook. After a few weeks, the brook, the little river, dried up, because there had not been any rain in the land for a long time. Little Daniel: then the prophet had nothing to drink, Daddy? No, but God still watched over him and did not allow him to starve. He told him to go to a city some way off and stop there, for that he had told a widow woman who lived in that city to take care of him and give him some food. So Elijah got up and went. When he came to the gate of the city, he saw the widow woman picking up sticks, and he called to her and said, "Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I may drink," for he was tired from his long walk and thirsty. Little Daniel: did the widow woman go, Daddy? And just as she was going to fetch it, the prophet called to her and said, "Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel, a little bit of bread in thy hand," for he was very hungry, having had nothing to eat for some time. The widow would gladly have given him some bread if she had had any, but she was very, very poor indeed, and she told him that she had no bread at all in her house, and no food except a little flour in a barrel and a little oil in a cruse. Little Daniel: what is a cruse, Daddy? A sort of a bottle, my dear son. Well, little Daniel: did she give Elisha some of the flour to make him a loaf? She told him that she was picking up sticks to make a fire, in order to bake a little cake for herself and her son, and that when they had eaten the little cake, they should be left to starve, as there was not flour enough to make another. Little Daniel: what did Elijah say to her then, Daddy? He said to her, "Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me therefore a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus saith the Lord God, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth." As I said before, this good man was a prophet of God, and he was quite sure that God would not allow the poor widow to starve for want of food, if she helped him in his distress, and gave him part of what little she had. Little Daniel: then I suppose the poor widow made a little cake of part of her flour and oil for Elijah, Daddy? Yes, and she found what the prophet had said to be quite true. For though she took a little flour out of the barrel and a little oil out of the bottle every morning to make her cakes, there was still some left, so that she and her little boy and Elijah had plenty to eat as long as the famine lasted. Little Daniel: that was because she trusted in God, Daddy? Yes, my dear. Little Daniel: and what became of the poor widow? After some time, her dear little boy was taken ill, so ill that he died. Then his poor mother was in great trouble, and she called Elijah. When Elijah saw what great trouble she was in, he took her little boy from her and carried him in his arms up to his own room and laid him upon the bed. Then he knelt down and prayed to God that the little boy might come to life again. And the Lord heard the prayer of his servant Elijah and made the little boy alive and well again. Little Daniel: oh, Daddy, how full of joy his poor mother must have been. Yes, she was indeed very glad when the prophet brought her darling child downstairs and gave him back into her arms, saying, "See, thy son liveth." And she said, "Now by this I know that thou art a man of God." I am now come to the end of the story, my dear son, but it may serve to teach us that God will never leave nor forsake those who are kind to others and willing to help them when they are in need. Little Daniel: I dare say the poor woman was very glad she had let Elijah live in her house, Daddy, and had made a little cake for him every day when she saw that God heard his prayers and made her little boy well. End of the Bible story of Elijah. Did you like it? Huh? Yes? No?
He didn't give me no batteries.
Really? You all done?
Yes.
Okay.
He didn't give me no batteries.
Okay.